I'm Amir and you're watching the Sunny Stammer channel. In this video I'll show you more of my life in Krasnodar, a city in the south of Russia. Today we're going to explore some new places. First we'll visit a cozy courtyard near my home, buy some ice cream and learn about the Marshrutka. A Marshrutka or Marshrutka taxi is a type of public transport commonly used in Russian cities and suburbs. It is usually a minibus or a small bus. Then we'll take a Marshrutka to the city center. There we'll explore one of Krasnodar's main streets, Krasnaya Street. Along the way you'll see beautiful historic houses, fountains, green spaces, and many other places around the city. And one more thing. In my previous video I promised to finish building the room box in this video. But this video is already getting a little too long, so I've decided to finish the room box in the next video instead. So you have to wait just a little bit longer. I hope you enjoyed this video and discover something new about Krasnodar with me. But first, breakfast, so let's go! Today I'm having a green smoothie for breakfast, along with 2 sandwiches, topped with spreadable cheese, fresh tomatoes, and fried eggs with runny yolks. Everything looks incredibly delicious and, of course, healthy. What do you usually have for breakfast? Tell me in the comments. Let's go explore Krasnodar! This is a cozy little courtyard in front of the building that I mentioned earlier. Look at these stocks. Someone who lives here made them. They're carved from wood and painted with ordinary paint. There are also lots of other little figures here. Hedgehogs, caterpillars, owls, windmills, castles and many more. There are also lots of plants growing here, which create a magical and mysterious atmosphere. Do you like this place? Let me know in the comments. I think it's wonderful when there are people who create such beautiful places. Look at this beautiful green wall covered in blooming pomegranate flowers. Actually, it's in Park Krasnodar, but I didn't know where to put this shot, so I decided to include it in this video. I think that without all these beautiful places, life would be much more boring and sad. Don't you agree? It's very hot in Krasnodar right now, so automatic sprinklers are running everywhere. They spray water like rain, so you can actually stand under them and cool off. It's a great way to escape the heat. It's also really fun to stand under this kind of rain. What do you think? And now it's time to get some ice cream. We're going to this little kiosk called Slavic's Ice Cream. You can find these kiosks all over Krasnodar. They have a huge selection of ice cream at very affordable prices. They also sell some unique flavors that you can't find in regular stores. You won't find these kiosks in Moscow or St. Petersburg. But here's the funny thing, this ice cream isn't actually local. It comes all the way from Siberia. Amazing, right? We decided to try one called Big Brother. It's cherry and cream ice cream in a crunchy wafer tube. I really like this ice cream because it's quite big. It weighs 110 grams and costs only 70 rubles, which is about 75 cents. Let's unwrap the ice cream and see what it looks like. It looks really beautiful. Let's give it a try. It's really delicious. It's incredibly creamy, which makes it taste even better. It's pink on top and white underneath. We've finished our ice cream and now we're moving on. Look at this interesting tree with fruits that look a bit like physalis. This is a courtyard, also known as the golden rain tree or flame tree. This orange minibus is a Marshrutka. And here two Marshrutka park side by side. Let's take a closer look at one of them. Usually Marshrutka are white, but I'm going to show you an orange one and a red one. Now I'd like to tell you a little more about Marshrutka. A Marshrutka is a type of public transport, usually a minibus or a small bus that follows a fixed route. Unlike regular city buses, Marshrutka have traditionally been more flexible. In many places you can pay the driver directly and they may stop at places along the route where it is allowed. But the history of this type of transport is much more interesting than it might seem. One of the earliest examples appeared in the United States in 1910s. They were called jitneys, private cars that carried passengers along popular streetcar routes for a small fee. In the Soviet Union, route taxis appeared in Moscow in the 1930s. At first, they used ordinary passengers' cars, including the famous Z models. They connected important squares, railway stations, parks, and exhibition centers. By the 1960s, small buses such as RAF and PAS became popular, gradually replacing passenger cars. Today, Marshrutka can be found in many countries around the world. And here in Krasnodar, they are still an interesting and very recognizable part of everyday city life. The Marshrutka I'm showing you here actually pass buses. We're standing at the bus stop now, waiting for our Marshrutka. I remember that in the past you could simply wave your hand to stop a Marshrutka. But that tradition has mostly disappeared and nowadays they stop at every designated bus stop. Alright, our Marshrutka is here, let's get on. This is what the inside of a Marshrutka looks like. The fare is 55 rubles, which is about 55 cents. We've arrived in the center of Krasnodar and now we've found a nice little area when we can sit down and have a snack. We brought some beefy life and cookies from home. Everything is incredibly delicious. Beefy life is a fermented milk drink made by fermenting milk with a culture of beneficial live bacteria. What makes it special is that it contains 5 main types of live bifidobacteria. The beefy life we bought was bought at Vkusville, the store I mentioned earlier. This one is raspberry and rosé flavored. There are a lot of trolley buses in Krasnodar. You can see orange, grey, blue and white ones and many other colors. Which ones do you like the most? We came across this beautiful shop window decorated with little birds. It looks so cozy, doesn't it? We've reached the main street of the city, Krasnaya Street. This is a monument to dogs called the Dogs' Capital. The Dogs' Capital is one of Krasnodar's unofficial nicknames. The city got this nickname in 1926 after the famous Russian poet Vladimir Mayakovsky visited Krasnodar. He was amazed by the huge number of strange street dogs roaming the city and barking loudly in the warm southern sun. Mayakovsky originally called his poem The Dog Wilderness. But after seeing the city, he wrote a famous line: "This isn't a dog wilderness, it's the dog's capital." Even today you can see many stray dogs here. They seem to live peacefully alongside people and local residents often feed them. Look at the giant cans, they represent condensed milk. Condensed milk is a sweet dairy product made from cow's milk and sugar by removing most of the water. It's thick, creamy and very sweet. I absolutely love condensed milk. Look at how beautiful the balconies of this building are. I really love the street. I like it because it has so many beautiful three-story buildings, many of which have been recently restored. There's also a lot of greenery, and while you're walking along the street, you're almost always in the shade, which is a lifesaver in this heat. There are also lots of cozy atmospheric shop windows and cafés, as well as many different monuments that make the street even more charming. It's always nice to discover them as you walk around. The street used to be quite neglected, but now it's gradually being restored and brought back to life. You can see many buildings that are currently undergoing restoration. I decided not to film the buildings that are still under restoration because there are already so many beautifully restored buildings here. I wanted to focus on those instead. Look at this magical blue building. It's absolutely charming, isn't it? This is the Kovalenko Krasnodar Regional Art Museum. The oldest art museum is in North Caucasus. It was founded in 1904 by collector Fyodor Kovalenko and now houses around 13,000 works of paintings, graphic art, and decorative arts. We are now at Pushkin Square. Alexander Pushkin was a famous Russian poet and writer, and one of the most important figures in Russian literature. The square is home to the largest regional library, named after Alexander Pushkin. It's a yellow building you can see here with a monument to Pushkin standing in front of it. The library is the main landmark that gave the square its name. The Kovalenko Art Museum is also located right here on Pushkin Square. Look at this dinosaur! It's made entirely from old computer chips and electronic components. Amazing, isn't it? I think it's really wonderful when instead of simply throwing something away, we give it a new life, just like they did with this dinosaur. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Look at the trunk of this tree. It's incredibly thick. This is a plain tree. For the most part, Krasnaya Street is lined with plain trees. They provide plenty of shade and are well adapted to the hot southern climate. This is a monument to Ilya Repin, a famous Russian artist. Krasnaya Street literally translates into English as Red Street. The street got its name long before the revolution, back in the 19th century. At that time the word Krasnaya could mean beautiful or lovely, rather than simply red. Interestingly, this historic name also happened to fit Soviet ideology. Red was also a powerful symbol of Soviet ideology. So, quite fortunately for the street, its historic name fit perfectly with the new era, and there was no reason to change it. We came across this cute little green house not far from Krasnaya Street. Right across from the green house there was this lovely blue one. And now I'd like to tell you a few legends about these places. There are many mysterious stories among local residents about the wealthy merchants who lived on Krasnaya Street long ago. Some people say that at night you can still hear the footsteps of ghosts in some pre-revolutionary buildings, the former owners who supposedly hid their treasures in the basements during the turmoil of the revolution. There's also a legend about an extensive network of underground tunnels beneath Krasnaya Street. According to the stories, these tunnels once connected merchants' houses, churches, and administrative buildings. Today, most of them are supposedly sealed up or inaccessible. Whether the stories are true or not, they certainly make a walk along Krasnaya Street more mysterious and fascinating. We are now in Shukhov Square, one of the main public squares in Krasnodar. Underground, researchers have discovered cavities that are believed to be the remains of the basements of the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, which was demolished in the 1930s. There is also a local legend that a secret tunnel once ran from the area of Shukhov Square all the way to the city's main river. However, historians and engineers have found no evidence to support this story. There is also a small Alexander Nevsky church chapel in the square built on the site of the former cathedral. Here are some beautiful little houses located near the square. There are 3 of them here, a brick red one, an orange one, and a green one. Let me know in the comments which one you like the most. Personally, I like the orange one. It looks just like a gingerbread house. This green building near the square has a fascinating history. It all began when Christopher Bogarsukov, a well-known merchant, settled in Yekaterinodar and founded a trading company called Brothers Karp and Christopher Bogarsukov. The ground floor housed various shops, while the upper floors contained a hotel with 24 rooms. In 1901, the merchant's business was hit by a fire that broke out at one of the shops. They were forced to close the building for renovation, but instead of restoring its original appearance, the Bogarsukov brothers decided to create something new. The building was reconstructed in the Art Nouveau style. Today the building houses shops, cafés and offices. And here we have these beautiful mosaics on the House of Books. This huge mosaic was created in 1978 based on a design by Valentin Papko, a honored artist of Russia. It features the words, "I will summon any of the centuries." This line comes from the famous 1966 poem Life Life by the famous Russian poet Arseny Tarkovsky. It expresses the idea of humanity, overcoming time, and our deep connection with culture and history throughout the ages. Look at these cute little huts on the walls of the flower bed. This is the Krasnodar Philharmonic. We came across these unusual fountains featuring 3D images showing what Krasnodar looked like in different historical periods. They are really fascinating, aren't they? And here you can see that the same green building I showed to you earlier. And I think this might be the site of the old church that was demolished. Look at how beautifully this restaurant's window display is decorated. There are milk cans and hay, which creates the feeling that you're in a little village. It's so cozy, don't you think? And I think all the plants and flowers make it feel even cozier. We came across this little ice cream shop on Krasnaya Street, but we've already had ice cream, so we'll just walk past it. This is a monument to G.F. Ponomarenko, an outstanding Soviet and Russian composer and bayan player. He was also a people's artist of the USSR. We came across this little house that's almost completely covered in greenery. This is a monument to a wallet. It was installed in Krasnodar in September 2008. The granite wallet lies on the ground as if someone had simply lost it, but no one could pick it up. It weighed several tons. The monument was based on an old-fashioned wallet similar to the ones that were commonly used in the Soviet Union. After World War II, this type of wallet became associated with thrift and saving money. Even today you can sometimes see wallets like this at your grandparents' homes. This building looks like an Irish pub, doesn't it? I think all these different shop windows and restaurant terraces make the street much more atmospheric, cozy and interesting. Without them, it would feel much less magical. Look at this cute Prague tram crossing the street. It's the same type of tram you can find in Prague. I talked about it earlier in this video. This is a monument that the Zaporozhian Cossacks write in a letter to the Turkish Sultan. The bronze monument was created in 2008 and was inspired by the famous painting by Ilya Repin. It was created to commemorate the 120th anniversary of the artist's visit to Yekaterinodar, the former name of Krasnodar. In 1888, Ilya Repin came to Yekaterinodar looking for people to use as models for his painting replica of the Zaporozhian Cossacks. He visited Pushkin settlement near the city where the descendants of the Zaporozhian Cossacks lived and made dozens of sketches for his future painting. The painting depicts a historical episode from 1676. The Ottoman Sultan Mehmed IV sent the Cossacks an ultimatum demanding their surrender. The Cossack leader Ivan Serko responded with a famously defiant letter rejecting the Sultan's demands. We stopped by Krasnodar's main shopping mall called Gallery to grab a quick snack. Here's a little look at what it looks like inside. There are lots of different clothing stores here. I really like this shopping mall because you can see all the floors from inside. Here we can see an advertisement for the Ozon Bank card. I have one too and I'm actually holding it in my hand right now. Ozon is a popular online shop and delivery service in Russia similar to Amazon. Through the window of the shopping mall we can see the Shukhov Tower. It's a 25-meter tall steel lattice tower built in 1935 based on a design by engineer Vladimir Shukhov. It's no longer in use today, but it has been preserved as an architectural monument. We brought this snack from home. It's a black bread with herring and cucumber. We're continuing our walk along Krasnaya Street. This is the city guest monument, a bronze sculpture of a young traveler that was created in 2011. The idea behind the sculpture is that the traveler, about 25 years old, has stopped to rest in the shade, sitting on his suitcase. He seems to have brought a delicious Cuban apple with him for a snack. But the beautiful scenery catches his attention and he forgets about the apple and he curiously looks around. Interestingly, the border of Yekaterinodar once ran right near this spot. Today, Krasnaya Street has become a beautiful boulevard. We are walking right through the center with roads running on both sides. The boulevard is filled with countless flowers and plants. Just look at how beautiful it is. It's hard to believe, but there used to be tram tracks right where this boulevard is today. And now I'd like to tell you a few interesting facts about Krasnodar. The first head of Ekaterinodar actually worked for the city for free. Danilo Volkares became the city's first mayor in 1793 at just 26 years old. And he didn't simply sit behind a desk. He personally took part in surveying their land and conducting the city's first population census. Unfortunately, working for free didn't end well. After 2 years in office, he had to ask for his resignation, explaining that he needed to find a way to make a living. This is the St. Catherine Fountain. It was opened in April 2009. The fountain symbolizes the spiritual protection of St. Catherine over the city and also pays tribute to Empress Catherine II, who granted the Cossacks the land where Ekaterinodar was founded. Interestingly, this was one of the first fountains that could be controlled using a smartphone. These are the Tsar's gates or royal gates. Their story began in the late 19th century when the Ekaterinodar was preparing for a visit from the imperial family. In 1888, the city council decided to build a triumphal arch to welcome Emperor Alexander the Tsar. Unfortunately, after the revolution, the Tsar's gates were demolished in the 1920s. Krasnodar was left without this remarkable landmark for many decades. But in the early 21st century, the decision was made to rebuild the arch. The restored gates were officially opened in April 2009 at a new location, and today everyone can come and see them. This is an old photograph of the Triumphal Arch. You can see the trams used to pass right underneath it. Another interesting fact is that people lived on these lands long before Ekaterinodar was founded. Archaeologists have discovered the remains of settlements dating back around 2300 to 2400 years. And here's another surprising fact. In 1864, the first oil well in Russia was drilled here in Ekaterinodar. Just look at how tall this plant is. It's even taller than me. This is a ronda reed, also known as giant reed. It sways so beautifully in the wind, doesn't it? This beautiful plain tree alley is also part of Krasnaya Street, but it feels more like you're walking through a huge park. Some of the majestic plane trees in the city center are almost 2 centuries old, while the large-scale planting of these iconic trees began in 1925. Just look at how thick these plane tree trunks are. I can't even wrap my arms all the way around them. Did you know that plane trees can live for more than 2000 years? In the East and the Mediterranean, ancient plane trees have witnessed kings, the fall of empires, and centuries of history. Can you see those giant clocks on the other side of the road? They're actually flower clocks. Interestingly, during the Soviet era, the city was renamed Krasnodar. The name was associated not with the red color of the Soviet flag, but with the old meaning of the word Krasny, beautiful, referring to a beautiful city on fertile land. This is a monument dedicated to the local people of the Caucasus Mountains. We're almost finished exploring Krasnaya Street. There's just one more fontaine left to see, so let's go check it out. Just look at how beautiful this fontaine is. In the background you can see the Aurora Cinema, but it's currently being restored. We're left Krasnaya Street and we're heading home. Along the way I'll show you a few beautiful places we came across on our way. We're walking through Chistakovskaya Grove now. I talked about this beautiful park in one of my previous videos. This is the main fontaine in Chistakovskaya Grove. You won't see it in my previous video because that one was filmed in winter, when the fontaine wasn't working. Look at this beautiful green arch. It feels like it leads straight into a magical world. As you walk underneath it, everything around you suddenly feels a little different. It's almost as if you've stepped into a secret garden hidden in the middle of the city. I love finding places like this during my walks. They make an ordinary day feel a little more magical. And this is where our walk comes to an end. But our day isn't over yet. There's still dinner waiting for us. For dinner today, I have a fresh tomato and cucumber salad, fish and butter and rice. I also have a fruit-flavored whey drink. It's a liquid dairy product made from whey which is left over during the production of cheese or cottage cheese. Fruit juice, vitamins, or flavorings are often added to improve the taste. This was my first time trying it, but honestly I didn't really like it. I guess it's an acquired taste. Everything else though was absolutely delicious. This beautiful natural phenomenon we can see through the window is called heat lightning. I really love watching it. What about you? It's been a wonderful day full of bright impressions, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed creating this video. Our day started with exploring a cozy courtyard. Then we learned about Marshrutka and took one to the city center, where we explored Krasnaya Street. We saw lots of interesting moments, beautiful historic buildings, colorful flowers, and many other fascinating places. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment telling me which moment you found the most interesting, and subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, stay curious. See you in the next video. Bye!